Well, it's that time of the week, New Tool Day Tuesday, where I share a unique tool with you guys that I think, well, it's pretty cool or useful. And you're looking at an ORTUR laser. I believe I'm saying that right. If I'm wrong, please comment down below. But this is a pretty cool, neat machine. It's basically a CNC with a laser head on it. The laser head that they're selling on this particular model is a 20 watt. You can buy it with various watt laser heads. I will put a link down below. I bought it from GearBest. You can buy these from other places online, but I do a lot of shopping on GearBest and they seem to have the better deal at the time. GearBest is a pretty unique import company. It does sometimes take time to get stuff from them, but they seem to always come through, at least for me. Some of my viewers remember seeing this box here. I built it for a Scout Crafter Challenge. I'll put a link down below if you want to learn more about that. But what I did do was engrave my logo on the front. And you can see that it burnt it into the face of this wood. Now this wood is aspen and mahogany, and the darker color, you can see it actually engraved a little bit deeper than the lighter color, and that's just kind of the nature of lasers. Overall, it looks really good, and this was the very first project I used with that laser. Here is another sample of an engravement that I did, and again, it's aspen and mahogany, but you can see it turned out pretty good. And that's kind of what these lasers do really well, is engraving. They do some cutting on some thinner materials, but they do an excellent job at engraving wood. They're also really good at removing paint, and the example here is this is a piece of aluminum that's been painted on both sides. You can buy these, they're just called blanks, and they're really good for business cards. Now I have this one a little off-centered, so my OCD viewers such as I are probably cringing, but this is the only sample I could find offhand. But the back side, I just kind of put a QR code that if you hit it with your phone, it'll take you right to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel link is at the bottom, and then on the front, it is my logo. Something pretty clever you can do with them. There's all kinds of things that these lasers are good for, and I want to quit talking about it because I want to show you guys this laser in action. There are some important rules that I do want to talk about before you fire one of these up. I'm not going to go through the details on how to assemble this. I think there's enough videos on that. And I'm not really going to go through the details on exactly how to use it. I just want to show you what it can do. So if you're interested, you can buy one yourself and learn about it. But I will say that safety is very important. First of all, this laser is a cutting laser. And if you're cutting different objects that have reflections, well, they could harm your eyes. I really think that a full enclosure for these would be a better design, but this is what we have to work with, so we need to be careful. They do come with glasses that block laser. You need to wear these whenever you're even remotely staring in this direction, because again, it is a cutting laser and you really don't want some reflection to hit your eyes. You also need to use a very well ventilated area, so it's not something where you want to do in your basement. You're probably going to want to do it in maybe a garage with a door open, or some place that's very well ventilated, or maybe you have some type of cabinet that you can put it under that has a hood that will ventilate the area. Other than that, those are kind of the general rules you need to go by. You obviously don't want to have your fingers or anything that, well, might hurt within line of the laser. To run this laser, you are going to need something that has a USB port on it, and I am finding that it runs under Windows 10. Okay, runs just fine. They do give you some software. There is some aftermarket software that does work a little better, but for the sake of this video, we're just going to use the software that came with it so you can see how it runs out of the box. Now let's take a look at the card here, and you can see it turned out pretty good, not bad. At least this time it is centered for us OCD people. Typically when you burn these cards, they kind of have a chalky powder over the top, and you just wipe them off with a little bit of water and they clean right up and they look like that. And let's take a look at the piece of wood that we burnt. And again, it did a really good job. And you can see also that it's lighter on the aspen and darker on the mahogany. That's just the nature of how lasers work. The darker colored materials seem to burn a little bit hotter. Now that you've seen some of its engraving capabilities, let's talk about some of its cutting capabilities. First of all, I'm going to say that it is only a 20-watt laser, and that's kind of deceiving as well, because that is its advertisement, but that's how many watts it's consuming, not how many watts the laser is putting out. I think it's somewhere around, realistically, 6 watts or so. That doesn't mean you can't do some significant things with it. It just means you have to slow down with it. I have seen people say they've cut 3mm craft plywood. They give you some 1mm samples, and it cuts this without any problems at all. I also seen a video where somebody cut 6mm plywood with it, and it did okay. They just had to do multiple passes. Now, obviously, you can cut cardboards and paper products as well. You just need to be a little careful because, well, it is a laser cutter, and it can catch them on fire. I've also seen some people do some really cool etchings on ceramic tile. They basically paint the tile and then they run the laser over the top of it and it kind of etches the paint into the tile. It's a pretty cool effect as well. So if you're looking for a quick and easy way to add a design or logo to something, then maybe laser etching is for you. Maybe this laser is what you're looking for. If you like these types of videos, please like and subscribe. Take a look at some of my other videos, and at the very least, you might be entertained.